Imagine standing in a crowd, feeling the weight of everyone's eyes, their whispers swirling around you. Words like judgment, approval, and fear echo in your mind. But what if I told you that you don't need everyone to like you? What if your happiness isn't chained to your past, but is instead shaped by the courage you show today? That's the radical idea at the heart of the courage to be disliked. This book will challenge everything you think you know about trauma, relationships, and what it means to be successful. It's not always comfortable, but it's a journey worth taking. Let's dive in. The story unfolds as a conversation between a philosopher and a young man. The young man is convinced that his past trauma defines him, that his happiness is at the mercy of others, and that the world is inherently unfair. But the philosopher introduces a shocking perspective. You are not controlled by your past. Instead, you choose your present. This core idea is rooted in Alfred Adler's psychology, which suggests that our suffering isn't caused by what happened to us, but by the meaning we attach to those events. Take a moment to reflect on that. The chains of the past can be broken, and your future is yours to shape. Philosopher makes a bold claim. Trauma does not exist. This doesn't mean that painful experiences aren't real or that suffering is imaginary. Instead, it means that your past only has power over your future if you let it. Many people believe they can't change because of what happened in their childhood, but Adler's view is different. He argues that we often use our past as an excuse to avoid making difficult changes in our lives. This idea is both powerful and uncomfortable, forcing us to reconsider how we view our own stories and the choices we make moving forward. One of the most universal human desires is the need for recognition. We crave approval from others, seeking validation for our actions, thoughts, and even our existence. The philosopher challenges this, suggesting that the pursuit of recognition can actually trap us. When we depend on others for our sense of worth, we give away our power and freedom. Instead, true happiness comes from within, from living authentically and courageously, regardless of what others think. This shift in perspective can be liberating, but it also requires us to confront our deepest fears about rejection and belonging. Philosopher encourages the young man to stop living for the approval of others. Instead, he suggests focusing on living for oneself. This doesn't mean being selfish or ignoring others' needs, but rather prioritizing your own values and happiness. When you stop chasing external validation, you begin to discover what truly matters to you. This is the first step toward genuine freedom and self-acceptance. It's a challenging path, but one that leads to a more fulfilling and authentic life. Key concept in Adlerian psychology is the idea of separating tasks. The philosopher explains that many of our problems arise when we take on responsibilities that aren't truly ours. For example, worrying about how others perceive us is not our task, it's theirs. By learning to separate what is our responsibility from what belongs to others, we can reduce anxiety and focus on what we can actually control. This simple shift can have a profound impact on our relationships and overall well-being. We often try to control how others think and feel about us, but this is a losing battle. The philosopher teaches that we can only control our own actions and attitudes. By letting go of the need to manage others' opinions, we free ourselves from unnecessary stress and disappointment. This doesn't mean we stop caring about people, but rather that we accept the limits of our influence. True peace comes from focusing on what we can change, ourselves. The heart of the book is the idea that it takes real courage to be disliked. Most of us want to be liked by everyone, but this is impossible and exhausting. The philosopher argues that being true to yourself sometimes means accepting that not everyone will approve of you. This courage is not about being rude or indifferent, but about standing firm in your values and choices, even when they're unpopular. It's a powerful form of self-respect and authenticity. Many people feel trapped by their past, believing that old wounds and mistakes define who they are. The philosopher challenges this, insisting that the past only has as much power as we give it. By choosing to let go of old narratives and focusing on the present, we can create a new story for ourselves. This isn't about denying what happened, but about refusing to let it dictate our future. It's a liberating and empowering mindset. One of the most empowering messages in the book is that we always have a choice. No matter what has happened to us, we can choose how we respond and what we do next. This sense of agency is at the core of Adlerian psychology. It reminds us that we are not victims of fate, but active creators of our own lives. Every day, we have the opportunity to make choices that align with our values and goals. Philosopher emphasizes the importance of living in the present moment. Too often, we are haunted by regrets about the past or anxieties about the future. But real happiness and fulfillment can only be found in the here and now. By focusing on the present, we can fully engage with life and make the most of every opportunity. This shift in perspective can help us break free from old patterns and embrace new possibilities. Comparing ourselves to others is a common source of unhappiness. The philosopher points out that everyone's journey is unique, and measuring our worth against others is both unfair and unhelpful. Instead of competing, we should focus on our own growth and progress. By letting go of comparison, we can appreciate our own achievements and find satisfaction in our personal journey. Humans are social creatures, and the need for belonging is deeply rooted in us. The philosopher explains that true belonging comes not from seeking approval, but from contributing to the community and building genuine connections. When we focus on giving rather than receiving, we find a deeper sense of purpose and fulfillment. This approach transforms our relationships and helps us feel truly at home in the world. Encouragement is a powerful tool for personal growth. The philosopher suggests that we should focus on encouraging ourselves and others, rather than criticizing or judging. When we create an environment of support and positivity, we empower people to take risks and pursue their goals. Encouragement helps us build confidence and resilience, making it easier to face challenges and setbacks. Growth often requires us to step outside our comfort zones and face discomfort. The philosopher reminds us that it's normal to feel uneasy when challenging old beliefs or trying new things. Instead of avoiding discomfort, we should embrace it as a sign of progress. Each time we confront our fears, we become stronger and more capable of handling life's challenges. The philosopher teaches that we are responsible for our own happiness. It's easy to blame others or external circumstances for our unhappiness, but this only keeps us stuck. By taking ownership of our feelings and choices, we reclaim our power and open the door to real change. Happiness is not something that happens to us, it's something we create. Competition is often seen as a driving force for success, but the philosopher challenges this idea. He argues that competition can breed resentment and insecurity, leading us to see others as rivals rather than allies. Instead, we should focus on cooperation and mutual support. By working together, we can achieve more and create a more positive and fulfilling environment for everyone. Contributing to others is a key source of meaning and satisfaction. The philosopher encourages us to look for ways to help and support those around us. When we focus on contribution rather than self-interest, we build stronger relationships and experience a deeper sense of fulfillment. This mindset shift can transform our lives and the lives of those we touch. Perfection is an impossible standard, yet many of us strive for it. The philosopher reminds us that it's okay to be imperfect. Accepting our flaws and mistakes is an important part of self-growth. When we let go of the need to be perfect, we become more compassionate toward ourselves and others, and we open ourselves up to new experiences and learning opportunities. Forgiveness is a powerful act that frees us from the burden of resentment and anger. The philosopher explains that forgiving others and ourselves allows us to move forward and heal. Holding on to grudges only keeps us stuck in the past. By choosing forgiveness, we open the door to peace and new possibilities. Vulnerability is often seen as a weakness, but the philosopher views it as a strength. When we allow ourselves to be open and honest about our feelings, we build deeper connections with others. Vulnerability requires courage, but it's the foundation of authentic relationships and true intimacy. Healthy boundaries are essential for maintaining our well-being and relationships. The philosopher teaches that it's okay to say no and to protect our own needs. Setting boundaries isn't selfish, it's an act of self-respect. When we honor our limits, we create space for healthier and more balanced connections. We often believe we can control everything in our lives, but the philosopher reminds us that much is beyond our influence. Accepting this reality can be freeing. When we focus on what we can control, our actions, attitudes, and choices, we become more effective and less stressed. Authenticity means living in alignment with our true selves. The philosopher encourages us to be honest about our values, desires, and feelings, even if it means standing out or being misunderstood. Authentic living requires courage, but it leads to greater satisfaction and self-respect. Being present with others is one of the greatest gifts we can offer. The philosopher explains that true connection happens when we give our full attention and listen deeply. Presence fosters trust, understanding, and intimacy, making our relationships richer and more meaningful. Perfectionism can be paralyzing, keeping us from taking action or enjoying life. The philosopher encourages us to let go of the need to be perfect and to embrace our humanity. Mistakes are opportunities for learning and growth, not evidence of failure. Self-compassion is essential for well-being. The philosopher teaches that we should treat ourselves with the same kindness and understanding we offer to others. When we practice self-compassion, we build resilience and create a foundation for lasting happiness. Starting over can be daunting, but the philosopher reminds us that it's never too late to make a change. Every day is a new opportunity to choose a different path. With courage and determination, we can reinvent ourselves and pursue the life we truly want. Adversity is an inevitable part of life, but the philosopher teaches that we can find meaning even in difficult times. By choosing how we respond to challenges, we can grow stronger and wiser. Every setback is an opportunity to learn and become more resilient. Simplicity brings clarity and peace. The philosopher encourages us to let go of unnecessary complexity and focus on what truly matters. By simplifying our lives, we we create space for joy, creativity, and meaningful connections. Gratitude transforms our perspective and enhances our well-being. The philosopher suggests making gratitude a daily practice, noticing and appreciating the good in our lives. Gratitude shifts our focus from what's lacking to what's abundant, fostering contentment and happiness. Fear of failure can hold us back from pursuing our dreams. The philosopher teaches that failure is not something to be feared, but embraced as part of the learning process. Each failure brings us closer to success and helps us grow stronger. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from setbacks and keep moving forward. The philosopher explains that resilience is built through facing challenges and learning from them. With each obstacle we overcome, we become more capable and confident. Personal growth is a lifelong journey. The philosopher encourages us to embrace change and see every experience as an opportunity to learn and evolve. Growth isn't always easy, but it's what makes life rich and meaningful. Letting go of what no longer serves us is essential for moving forward. The philosopher teaches that holding on to old grudges, regrets, or fears only weighs us down. By releasing the past, we make room for new possibilities and greater happiness. Our mindset shapes our reality. The philosopher explains that by adopting a growth mindset, we can overcome obstacles and achieve our goals. Believing in our ability to change is the first step toward transformation. Giving to others brings joy and fulfillment. The philosopher encourages us to be generous with our time, attention, and resources. When we give without expecting anything in return, we experience a deeper sense of connection and purpose. Listening is an art that deepens our relationships. The philosopher teaches that true listening means being fully present and open to others' experiences. When we listen with empathy and understanding, we build trust and strengthen our connections. Acceptance is the key to inner peace. The philosopher explains that when we accept ourselves and our circumstances, we stop fighting reality and find freedom. Acceptance doesn't mean giving up. It means making peace with what is, so we can move forward with clarity and purpose. Mindfulness is the practice of being fully present in the moment. The philosopher encourages us to cultivate mindfulness through meditation, reflection, and conscious living. Mindfulness helps us manage stress, improve focus, and enjoy life more deeply. Saying no is an act of strength and self-care. The philosopher teaches that it's important to honor our limits and protect our energy. By saying no to what doesn't serve us, we make room for what truly matters. Self-discovery is a lifelong journey. The philosopher encourages us to explore our values, passions, and dreams. By getting to know ourselves more deeply, we can make choices that align with our true selves and create a life of meaning and fulfillment. Hope is a powerful force that keeps us moving forward, even in difficult times. The philosopher teaches that hope is not just wishful thinking, but a belief in our ability to create positive change. With hope, we can overcome obstacles and pursue our dreams with confidence. Courage leaves a lasting legacy. The philosopher reminds us that every act of courage, no matter how small, can inspire others and create ripples of positive change. By living bravely and authentically, we contribute to a better world for ourselves and those around us. As we reach the end of this journey through the courage to be disliked, remember that true happiness and freedom come from within. It takes courage to let go of the need for approval, to embrace your authentic self, and to live according to your own values. The path isn't always easy, but it's worth it. Every step you take toward self-acceptance and authenticity brings you closer to a life of meaning, joy, and fulfillment. Your courageous journey starts now.